Welcome to Episode 6, an audit of the executive power in the United States, a measurement in the key of Fides et Potestas. January 20th, every 4 years, a hand will rest on a holy book. A voice will speak an oath older than the office itself. I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. Free promises. Not to a party, not to a base, to a document, and to every person it protects. This ledger measures the executive against that vow, not against intention, not against ideology, against the oath and the distance between its word and its work. Faithfully execute. Power is not possession. The machinery of state is not a tool for private gain. Authority is not unlimited because it feels necessary. Preserve, protect, and defend. Fear does not erase rights. Do not violate what you swore to uphold. Do not wage war alone. Do not allow emergency to become ordinary. To the best of my ability. Competence is the minimum. Use the full weight of the office in service of a nation, not the self. These are not honors to be claimed. They are load-bearing promises, the structural beams upon which the office stands. The oath does not crown the president. It constrains them. The accounting for these duties lives in the public ledger. The numbers are there. What follows is not the math. It is what the math means. Power is not possession. And yet, federal agencies bent to settle scores. The machinery of state turned inward. Rivals pursued. Enemies listed. The line crossed between law and loyalty. A pattern. The weaponization of state power against the political opponent. It recurs. It crosses parties. It deepens each time it is used. Each time, something fragile breaks. Not flesh. A principle. The ground beneath trust. When power tastes itself, it forgets the oath. The damage accumulates. It does not heal. It passes forward. The Constitution grants Congress the power to declare war. The President commands, does not decide, commands. And yet, war has been waged, sustained, expanded, without declaration, without consent, across jungles, deserts, mountains, cities. For years, soldiers returned unmade, or did not return. Civilians lost what cannot be replaced. Regions destabilized across generations. This was not aberration. It became the rule. Each president inherited the power. Each president used it. The cost is written in bodies and decades. And it continues. But something else happened alongside this. The public learned not to see the wars. The conflicts became so routine, so distant, so normalized, that their existence faded into the background of ordinary life. War became the permanent condition. Perpetual conflict became invisible. The nation learned to live inside a state of endless military engagement without naming it as such. This normalization is itself a kind of harm. When war becomes background, dissent becomes impossible. When the public cannot see what it opposes, consent, or refusal becomes meaningless. Authority has been delegated beyond sight. Intelligence agencies conducting operations no elected official could prevent. Surveillance expanding in silence, enveloping the innocent. Lethal decisions made in rooms where sunlight does not enter. Private hands given the power to kill in the nation's name. In each instance, authority fled accountability. Rights weakened. Protections bypassed. The Constitution remained on the wall. Its meaning thinned. But here is what separates this from the wars. The public cannot withdraw consent from what it cannot see. Democracy requires visibility. It requires the ability to know, to judge, to refuse. When authority operates in classified darkness, the ledger of that authority becomes invisible too. The people bear the cost of decisions they do not know have been made. This delegation remains active. It does not wait for permission. It does not ask to be seen. Fear is not an excuse. And yet, in moments when fear spoke loudest, rights were suspended. People held without trial. Communities watched for the crime of existence. Movements disrupted not for violence, but for dissent. These violations were called temporary. They lasted years. They spread. People learned silence, caution, distrust. Some programs ended. The scar remains. Emergency powers were designed for crisis. Real crisis has come. The danger was real. The response was necessary. But extraordinary power does not expire. It hardens. Temporary measures become the new normal. The exception becomes the rule. This is not a judgment on whether the state should act in crisis. This is a measurement of what we do with power after the crisis passes. The result: a permanent state of emergency. That state continues. It has learned to call itself necessary. The ledger asks, when does the emergency end? And if it never does, was it ever emergency at all? Or has the state simply found a name for its expansion? Competence is the minimum. The oath does not ask for perfection, only for presence, only for care, only for the attempt. And yet, warnings were clear, evidence was available, time existed, and still, delay compounded harm, not from ignorance, from looking away. Disasters worsened by slow response, public health crises weaponized, long-term threats postponed so the present could be comfortable. The consequences were not theoretical, they were lived, by people who had no choice but to live them, and they continue. The ledger records the cost, not as judgment, as fact. The executive has also been a vessel of liberation, chains broken by executive order, rights enforced where majorities would not enforce them, institutions opened, poisons removed from air and water, the prospect of annihilation made less certain. These moments reshaped what it meant to live in this country. They opened doors that had been sealed. They extended life. They reduced violence. They returned dignity to people the state had discarded. Many began in Congress, but the executive signed them, defended them, made them real. That matters. But liberation through executive action is fragile. What one president orders, another can undo. What one administration builds, the next can dismantle. Rights extended through executive authority can be withdrawn through executive authority. The surplus is real, but it is not permanent. It is defended only by fidelity to the oath itself. There have been moments when the office chose the nation over itself, when the holder of power stepped back from the expansion of power, when authority was exercised in restraint, when the oath was remembered as a constraint, not a crown. These moments are rarer than they should be, but they exist. The ledger records both, the breaking and the building, the theft and the gift. Neither erases the other. Both are true. When measured against the full weight of history, the executive shows a net surplus. But surplus is not amnesty. The past glories do not erase the ongoing harms. Every undeclared war accrues debt. Every emergency power that refuses to expire deepens it. Every time the office is used to settle personal scores, it compounds it. And inaction is itself a choice. The choice to allow the debt to compound. The choice to inherit harm and do nothing. The choice to leave the ledger open and walk away. The president sworn in today inherits all of it. The gains, the damage, the pattern. The choice of what comes next belongs to them, not to the ledger, not to history, to the person placing their hand on the Bible. Repair is possible. A president who refuses to wage war alone. A president who allows emergency to end. A president who remembers that power borrowed must be returned. These are not radical demands. They are the demands of the oath, the demands written in the text, the demands spoken into the silence of every inauguration. The oath is sworn on a Bible. The law is written in the Constitution. A president can believe in God and violate the law. A president can mean well and still devastate. A president can inherit good and choose harm. This ledger does not measure the soul. It measures the choices. Some choices have expanded liberty. Others have diminished it. Others have done both at once. The candle burns for clarity. The flame flickers when power bends itself. The oath waits. The Constitution waits. The nation waits. The question remains, will you keep the oath you swore? Ever forward-moving, ever alive, the light above, the water below,